Hi, AnyAustin. I'm Lizzie, and I want to introduce you to Stormwind Harbor in World of Warcraft. I really enjoy your odd and unremarkable places videos, and I thought that it would be interesting for you to see what I felt was odd and unremarkable just in like the starting city for the Alliance. If you haven't played Warcraft at all, I know you've referenced Warcraft 3 in at least one video, so like I know you have an idea of Horde and Alliance, but if you haven't played World of Warcraft, Stormwind is a city that you start here in Elwyn Forest right here in Northshire, and then you can literally just from the start run down in about 3 minutes you're here in Stormwind City. On the side of it though is this harbor, and this harbor recently just got like a fresh coat of paint. I say recently, it's like 7 or 8 years ago that this happened in an old expansion. And the theme of that expansion was Battle for Azeroth, where the Horde and the Alliance get into another war, and so it's all the harbor went from being destroyed from like the third war of Warcraft 3 to being rebuilt and being a station for the war effort. There's a whole intro where you go off and you get to create a ship that you send off to go, like supply the war effort. And what I find really interesting about this place is that it is an actual working harbor. You can see this ship that's like going out here and floating off into the distance. These ships will take you to other parts of the world. It's sort of a legacy feature at this point that these ships exist. They don't really take you to the major cities, and they have portals to all the major cities now. So and you have to wait for them to come and go. They're on an actual schedule. So there's really no need to use them anymore because you can just fly to the tower where the portals are and just take a portal. Unless you're a person like you or me who likes to stop and smell the roses of all the interesting places the world has to offer. So I thought that was really interesting about this working harbor. And we'll come back to that fact later. Another thing that I found really interesting about this harbor is, like I said, this got a fresh redo. This harbor with
finest at your service.
with the Battle for Azeroth expansion, which is all about the war effort. And to that end, you see lots of these really neat, interesting supplies here. There's boxes laying around where Supply Sergeant Graves is sitting here, and like he's probably taking notes and counting the supplies so he can send them off to the war effort. You have these boxes that have like the little plus symbols, so these are very obviously like medical supplies. And you have like, this is probably flour. What is this? You can't really tell what's on the, but it looks like sacks of flour, to create food. But interestingly, over here we have what is guaranteed to be like food supplies and medical supplies, and then boxes of swords. This is something that you would actually find like at a supply station going off to war. Like you'll find at any base around the world food, medical supplies, and weapons. And I thought that that was just really interesting. Another thing that I found interesting about this place is over here where we have this like shipbuilding area. I did mention earlier that you get that there's a whole quest line where you build a ship and it lands right here in the water. You christen it, you send it off to war. It's this whole thing. But one ship does not win a war, does it? And so what we have here at the shipyard is also like a ship building yard, which is interesting. We have these dock workers which are literally building ships on land right now to continue to supply the war effort. I thought that was really neat and a nice little detail. Because you can't just make one ship and call it a day. And obviously these two more ships are not enough. These ships will probably never get built. I feel kind of bad for this guy right here, the Stormwind dock worker. But, at least he's getting paid, right? The next thing that I found interesting is this giant building right here. I have no idea what this building is. Initially, I thought that it looked sort of like the potato containers in Idaho. If you've ever driven through Idaho, through like the farming area on the eastern side, on the southeastern side, that you'll find buildings that are shaped like this, that are sort of like, you know, this upside down U shape, have a door at the front. And initially I thought that maybe this was going to be like a train station or something for a future, for like a future expansion. But like if you fly behind it, then you'll see that the back is just completely enclosed, which makes me think that maybe it's more for storage. All of these war supplies that are like just hanging out outside, maybe there's more of them in here. It's locked up pretty tight, so potentially it's that. Potentially it's also that they're building some secret thing inside there. I don't really know. It could be any number of things. It also potentially still could be a train station, but maybe just like a subway, and with like the station itself being outside or above ground. Why they would need to have that locked up though while it's under construction is a little beyond me. We have these cool ballistas. Oh my goodness, I never get guild invitations like this unless I'm recording, apparently. We have these cool like arrow launcher things and these like tanks, which is all really cool. We have these little steam tank engineers that sit around working on these things all day, ensuring that they're working. But a fun little detail that I noticed a while back is this one right here. This spawns every 10 minutes. And it's really cool because unlike these other ones, it's got like moving working parts. This also has a steam tank engineer that comes over and starts building this thing. It's got smoke coming out of it. Like I said, there's moving parts. This is a really interesting piece right here, I think, with this like barrel that you would see in Donkey Kong that's just sort of holding this thing together, which I think is absolutely hilarious. What's neat about this is eventually here, it's gonna turn around and it's gonna kick off moving. And it runs all the way over here, and it makes this loop, and then it comes over here. And then it just lands over here and just sort of explodes. Which is absolutely hilarious. The fact that the designers of this game, or some developer, spent time, they were like, I wonder if this was something that like was on someone's like, we need to make this look functional, so let's put some moving things inside the harbor, or if this was one developer's just like side project one day where he was like, I think this would be really cool to make and have. I don't know. But it's there, which is really neat. And there's one final thing that I do want to show you, and I've sort of been avoiding the area even when I came over here to show you these like ships, because one of the videos that I watched recently was that video of Skyrim and about how you find, you know, quiet places in Skyrim, and one of those places was a lighthouse that will never be used because you sat there and you waited days and days and days and no ships ever came. Which is why I thought that this was really fun, that this is a working harbor where these ships will take you to other continents of the game. And to facilitate that, there is a lighthouse. And unlike the one in Skyrim, this one is working. It has its light that goes around and around and around and around, and it protects these ships that come in on all their shipping routes and their transportation routes and their war routes, and it helps keep everyone safe and make sure that they don't run into Stormwind, the city itself. And I just thought that was really fun and really interesting, and I saw that seeing that lighthouse was the reason for me to take this video and send it to you. I thought that it was really interesting, and I wanted you to see it. And now we're back here, and our little steam engine is chugging along, and it's moving, which is really fun. I just love the details on this little steam engine. That engineer over there did such a good job, and it just like, it drives along, and I'm not sure if it's steam powered. It sort of looks like there's steam coming out the front, but it also looks like there's, you know, like a coal-fired furnace back here, so... Although I guess maybe that's how steam engines work. I don't know, that you use fire to create steam, so maybe that is how a steam engine actually works. I don't know enough about steam engines to really know. I think this gun on the top is really fun too. It's sort of just like on its little swivel or whatever. But unfortunately, this tank, like so many before it, is not long for this world. It reaches this destination, and then the pressure gets too much, and it just can't handle it all. The little barrel that's transferring steam around and was shaking so violently just seconds ago could not handle it, and it just couldn't make it, and here it ends its life. But the steam engineer, 10 minutes later will maybe have a new design. Maybe he'll just try the same design again, and there will be another one here ready to try and make its journey out. So yeah, thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.